Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill-Staxx, and today I got Joe. He's doing 20. He's been in jail for 21 years. He's been in prison for 21 years. He has life without the possibility of parole. He's been in jail for 21 years. His name's Joseph. Um, he's got first degree murder. He's 43 years old. He has a family. Um, he's in prison for first degree murder and attempted murder. And he explained a little bit to me about what happened, but I want you guys to hear it from him. So that's why I'm bringing these people on my show, is because they have true redemption in their heart, and they're apologetic for what they did. They're sorry to the family, and I want to get this across to the people. um what this is all about. It's about redemption. It's about changing. It's about being grateful for what you have. Like, these guys are in prison. They have life without parole. Can you, like, imagine? I can't even imagine that. Life without parole. Like, if that was me, I would be like, I don't, honestly, I don't know what I would think. I don't know what I would do. I think it would be pretty insane. Well, so we're just waiting for him to call now. Should be calling within 4 minutes. So we're gonna get it in with him. He's gonna tell his story, and it's gonna be good. You guys just stay tuned. Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to Bugsy Siegel. This is my dog right there, man. He is instrumental in helping change lives. He's involved with the ARC program. That's I don't really know much about it, but I'm gonna do my research on it. I'm pretty sure it's where kids at youth risk kids, they get mentored. He's mentoring a lot of inmates in prison. He's really striving for greatness. And I want to give a shout out to Bugsy. I want to give a shout out to J Dubs. That's my dog. They do music. Make sure you check out Bugsy's music, streaming on all platforms. He has a song called Evacuate, where his wife's singing. It's an incredible song. You guys need to check that out. There's tons of stuff I have lined up for you guys. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. Things are gonna get real in here in a minute, man. Stay tuned for this. Got about 2 more minutes to wait, and he's gonna be calling in. So I want to give a shout out to everyone out there that's striving for greatness. Uh, everyone, everyone that's been in the struggle, that's changing their life, whether you're in prison or you're not, whether you're on the streets, if you're addicted to drugs, there's a way out. I promise you that. There is a way out. You don't have to live like that. You don't. And I'm a prime example that you don't. You don't have to live like that forever. It's not a life sentence, but it could be. So we're gonna have him call. He's gonna call in a minute, and we're gonna get into his story. See how things are for him on the inside. It's gonna be a really good one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this phone out so we can hear him better. It's gonna be a good one. I want to thank everyone for rocking with me. Um, Big ass bird, man. So, Joe's going to be calling here. With he's going to be telling his story, a little bit of it, and he's in jail. He's in prison in Southern California. He's been there for 21 years, and he has a life sentence without parole, and that's called an LWOP. They call them LWOPs when they have life sentence without parole. They call them an LWOP. I guess I just heard that. I don't even. I'm like new to all this. I mean, I've been in prison with lifers before, but they weren't called that when I was there. They were just called lifers. Here he is. Hello.
This is Global Link. You have a prepaid call from
Joseph Cano,
an inmate at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Link.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Staxx? I'm doing well. You know, how you doing, Staxx?
I'm doing great, man. I told the people a little bit about your backstory, and you could just get right into it, man.
Okay. First, I just want to just thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share a little bit of my testimony with you and your audience who listen and view your show. With that said, I just get into a little bit of my upbringing. I was born in the city of Corona, California, which is located in the county Riverside, and I was raised in the unincorporated part of the city known as Home Gardens. It's an impoverished small community that was enveloped in drug activity, violence, and gangs. My home environment was also toxic, to say the least. It was infested with drug use, alcoholism, violence, abuse, and gang activity. It was so normalized that in my young mind, that in my young influenced mind, I began to believe it was the way to live. It became my creed. And I recall by the age of 8 years old, I became stubborn, rebellious, and I was detached, which was fueled by deep-rooted feelings that was fueled from feeling unloved, damaged, unnoticed, and rejected. And just continued to spiral out of control. By the age of 12 years old, me and my gang peers created our own street gang.
Yeah.
We became ruthless. We terrorized the streets, and it became an outlet for me to express the bitterness and the anger that I felt inside. I discovered a false sense of power and control. I became ruthless. And I would tell myself that I would no longer be the one to be hurt, that I would be the one doing the hurting. And I lived up to
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
On the streets, I was known on the streets as a boxer. And I invited all challenges. However, in my warped mind, I believed that fighting would only elevate my gang status so far. So truth be told, I wasn't looking to be respected. I wanted to be feared. And I knew in order to build a ruthless reputation, I had to resort to carrying a weapon and use it to leave no doubt in anyone's mind that I was not to be messed with. And my gang was my life, more than my own family and kids. I slept, I breathed my gang, and foolish enough, I was willing to even die for this false gang ideology. My first arrest was at the age of 13, for armed robbery. It began a vicious cycle, finding myself in and out of the juvenile system, and fast forward by the age of 17, I was arrested yet again, facing some serious time for another robbery and assault with a firearm.
So you were a convicted felon and you got caught again with a firearm?
Yes. And so at this time, I was tried as an adult, and as soon as I turned 18, I was sent to state prison for 3 years.
Yeah.
And upon my release in '98, I thought everything was good. Everything was well. Back with my family, my kids. But one thing that I failed to do while I was incarcerated was do any type of self-examination, look within myself, and that's what I did not do. I didn't allow God to take any control of my life. None of that. It would, so as soon as I was released, I'll say within a matter of a year, before anything, I got wrapped up in that old vicious lifestyle again, where I became more sinister. And, it just continued to just evolve. And in 2001, I was 22 at the time, and I had no sense of direction. I felt empty. I felt lost. I felt that, it was just like if I was just in this free fall with no end to it. And my beliefs were distorted and real reckless. I viewed human life as meaningless and expendable. I never once stopped to think how my violent behavior was affecting so many innocent lives, including the lives of my kids and my family. It seemed like if I was on some death wish, and in August of 2000, I shot a rival gang member. I shot him 3 times while he was pulling out of his driveway. I felt untouchable because at this time I wasn't charged. I wasn't even arrested for it at this time. And I felt untouchable.
Did he die with the guy that you shot that time?
No, he didn't die. He was injured pretty badly, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
And so I continued that same pattern, that gang lifestyle that I had to live up to some image, and I continued. I continued to want to be accepted. I continued to want to live this careless and heartless and callous lifestyle. And on January 6, 2001, I attended it was a mostly family backyard birthday party.
Yeah.
A party. I wasn't initially invited to it. I was aware of rival gang members being present at this party, and I went to this party. I was armed with the .40 caliber handgun, and later on during the festivities, I decided to leave. I felt that I needed some more firepower, because I knew that there was more gang members there. So I left, and I retrieved a .22 caliber rifle. I returned, and sometime after midnight, I was challenged by one of the murder victim's associates. And during this time throughout the party, there was a little tension. And then once I was challenged, it just set off. It just set me off instantly, and I just shut all doors to any form of reasoning.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, I quickly exited the party to the side gate, and upon my exiting, I heard someone yelling my name. I looked back, and I recognized it was Mr. Lovato, the man that I murdered. And as soon as he got about 15 to 20 feet behind me, I quickly turned around with the .22 rifle in my hand, and I shot him in his upper chest. And as he stumbled to the ground, I walked up to him and I fired two more times into the defense's body.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I turned to flee, and the side door opened. That's when I removed my .40 caliber handgun from my waistband, and I began to fire upon an individual who opened the side kitchen door. That individual wasn't shot. However, through that barrage of gunfire, a female was struck in the leg that was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we fled. I jumped in the car. I was so callous that I could recall that night of how I just got into the car and I was just laughing, like if it was just a joke, just taking somebody's life in cold blood. I was arrested the following day and on a parole violation, and during my parole violation, I took no accountability, no responsibility. And a few months later, that's when I was charged with a murder, and I was facing the death penalty on that case, and special circumstance allegation. And when I was arrested, this whole time when I was arrested, waiting trial, while I was sitting in the county, I continued to display my callous behavior. I continued to practice it. I was participating in violent acts upon other inmates and removals, whatever it was. I was quick to. I thought I had nothing to lose. I thought that my life was over. I felt defeated. I felt hopeless, and I felt helpless.
So when you went to prison for the murder, you figured, fuck it, my life's over. I might as well just go all in.
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt. And I was in. I arrived at New Folsom State Prison. It was a level 4 yard in March 18 of 2003. I entered this. I entered that world where I had no control over it. I believe my only option to survive was by any means necessary. Yeah. And I could not show weakness, because showing weakness in this place, you can easily get chewed up and spit out. And I had to really, I had to continue on this path. I felt that I had to. And so for the first, let's say 15 years of my incarceration, I lived in complete hopelessness and chaos. I was in this vicious cycle of drugs and violence, and it just continued to evolve. It continued to go down. I continued just to free fall down this bottomless pit, and but it began to shift, and that was in March of 2016 when I came to the realization that something needed to change. I was tired and I was exhausted from the destructive life I was living in hopelessness and despair. Yeah. My desire was to be liberated from the mental imprisonment that anger, bitterness, resentments kept me enslaved to my whole life, from childhood all through my adolescence up into my adulthood. It would be through the revelation that came by means of my personal spiritual awakening and my newfound freedom in Jesus Christ, who revived me from that refreshed me, I should say, with the new attitude. And I no longer blame others for the poor decisions that I made in my past. I used to blame. I used to point fingers and say, man, it's because of my upbringing, it's because of this, it's because of that. And I was quick to always point fingers, but I never bothered to look at myself in the mirror. I never bothered to look at, Joe, it's you that's committing this, it's you that's out there doing this. And I never bothered to look at
what was my part in it, right? Like, what was my part?
Yeah. And my blaming accusations blinded me from seeing all that. And, but today, I stand here and now I live responsible and accountable, and I embrace others in need. I'm strongly active in my personal recovery. I mean, it's something that me giving back and making that amends. And right now I'm currently I'm a peer mentor for a substance use disorder treatment program. Assisting individuals with substance use problems and helping them with those issues by developing new skills and new ways of thinking about themselves as men.
It's great that you could be an inspiration to other people while you're in there. Like, what kind of advice would you have for a kid that's struggling out on the street, that maybe wants to get out of that life, that's stuck in the same mind frame that you were stuck in? What do you got for advice for them?
I would tell those kids that, it's okay to ask for help. It's don't feel that people will not listen. Because I wish that I would have asked for help. I wish that I would have just went to somebody and let them know how I was feeling, let them know that what I was going through. I didn't have that outlet, but yet I chose to deal with it in other ways, and I refused. As a boy, I wanted to look at myself like, man, no, I can't ask for help. I can't go and no, but I do believe that they can ask for help. All they have to do is reach out, look for somebody, whether it's a family member, whether it's somebody that's a friend, of whoever they feel that they can confide in, that they can do that instead of going down a path that's going to be full of destruction. It's going to be full of heartache. It's going to be full of just despair and hopelessness and finding themselves stuck in a revolving door that seems to never end. And they're not only hurting the people in the community, the victims they're creating, but also they're hurting their family and their friends. That it's so ironic to sit here and say that I love my family and I love my family, but yet stuck in a lifestyle that contradicts that. And but just for them to go and say, I'm going through something, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm feeling this way, and express that.
Yeah, and put their pride to the side. I think pride's a big thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's something big, just these kids, they're just, I know there's so many, they come in broken homes that they just feel lost, they feel defeated, they feel unnoticed, they don't feel loved, they don't feel protected. So now they look at authority figures as, they ain't gonna help me. So now I gotta survive on my own, because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
But I look back on that and I just wish again that I would have just asked for some help.
Yeah.
And but I thank God though that that today I'm no longer that person who I used to be, that cruel and heartless person. During this incarceration, it's something that I never thought that I could do. I received my GED.
Yeah.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Hey, is there anyone you want to give a shout out before we go?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'll I just want to give to everybody, just the people that listen and just hear and just take something from this. And I had more to share.
Yeah.
And,
if you can call back,
but I know
you could call back.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Okay.
Okay, Staxx.
All
okay,
right,
Staxx. Bye.
All right, bye. Hey, Mom. Mom.
What?
I'm doing a prison interview, so.
Okay, well, I'm talking loud.
All right, it'll be done in like 15 minutes. So you guys are hearing it first. This guy's been in prison for 21 years. He's 43 years old. And, he's been through a lot of stuff. And he's telling me his story. There's a lot of things we're going to go over. So stay tuned. He's calling back. And we're going to get into it. Hope you guys are liking this, man. Here we go. Hello?
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Joseph Cano.
an inmate at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I was, I just had a little more that I just wanted to share, in closing.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, it's just, something to be able to have, something I never thought I would do, growing up and being in special ed and never thinking that I was never focused. And, I received my GED, I'm currently in college with a 3.4 grade point average.
Wow, that's
I'm
great, man. That's really great.
And again, I take my recovery serious, and I give glory to God always. And I continue to strive daily to live a life of amends to honor the memory of Mr. Lovato and the countless others I victimized.
Yeah.
The choices and decisions of my past, I'm solely responsible for. And choosing today to live in a manner that demonstrates repentance and one that holds great value toward human life. And when I entered the system 21 years ago, I deserved that sentence I received, the life without. However, I'm no longer that callous, detached, insensitive individual any longer.
Yeah.
And my greatest hope today is that I will either be granted a commutation of sentence by the governor of California, or that the laws will change to include individuals as myself who fall within the youth offender spectrum, but are currently excluded due to our life without possibility of full sentence. And I just want to be given a chance to go before a board of parole hearings and demonstrate my change and prove that I am no longer a threat to the public.
I hope you get that chance, man. I really do.
Yeah,
And
you know,
is there
and
anything you wanted to say to the victim's family if they're watching
I
this?
just, if they're watching, I just want to let them know that I'm going to continue. Every day I strive to make amends, and that is in any way that I possibly can, and helping others, and just demonstrating a life of change. And that is the greatest thing that I can possibly do is demonstrate that change, and be sincere and honest about that, and not just speak in words and just say that that's what it is. No, it's about today. For me, it's about taking ownership and accountability for my actions, and that's what it's about today. Me being responsible and accountable, and that's what I do today. And I truly believe that no human being should be looked at as irredeemable. We all have valuable, redeemable qualities, and which is seen when one rises from the ashes of defeat and restored to complete beauty. I truly believe that that everything has a past and every sinner has a future.
Yeah.
And that I stand on, and I believe that. And then again, I'm just going to continue to live a life of amends. I'm going to continue to give back. I'm going to continue to be of service to others, and in any way that I possibly can to lift somebody and just assist them. And that's all that I can do. And, and that's the greatest thing.
Don't you participate in the ARC program too?
I do for the criminal and gang members anonymous. I am a facilitator in the program. As far as ARC, they come in, and I'm not currently at the moment a part of it, because right now everything that's shut down with the COVID and everything, so it kind of shut down all the programs right now.
Hopefully they could get them back up and running, because I think it's a great thing what you guys are doing, and trying to reach the youth, and I think people really need to hear your story so that they can put themselves in your shoes, so that they never are in your shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the truth right there. That's all and I thank you for giving me this opportunity just to be able to share a bit of my story, so that people can see that no matter what we're at, that if we just have that little bit of hope, that everything could change. And I truly believe that, because no matter what we're going through, no matter the tribulations, because it's those tribulations that are going to produce, perseverance, and that perseverance is going to produce character, and that character is going to produce that hope. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But again, I thank you, Bill-Staxx, for this opportunity that you gave me.
Yeah, and, man. Do you want to give a shout out to any of your family? Because I know that you probably don't get to see them as much as you want to.
Yeah, especially right now during this COVID. For my wife, just being that support, and my brother and my sisters and my mom and my kids.
Yeah.
And I just thank God that He's continuing to restore those broken relationships, and no matter what, I'm going to continue to show and demonstrate to them, because for a long time that trust was broke, and today they see that I have changed. It's been going on 6 years that I have changed my life, and they see that. They see that I'm no longer that person, and it just feels good to know that they could trust me again. And that is the greatest gift that can be given. And but yeah, again, thank you, Staxx. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, of course, man. I was a gang member, and I was heavily addicted to drugs and alcohol. And 3 years ago, I finally got a grip on things, and I work on myself every day, and I try to be a better man every day. I finally got the trust back from my mother, my family. They trust me driving their cars now. They trust me, in their house alone. It's crazy, because I never thought I would have that back. And it's just a blessing. I'm able to do that, man. And I think I think that you definitely it's commendable, the things that you're doing. You wanting to change, you want to help change other people when you have a life sentence, and sometimes people let that cause them just to be hopeless, like you did in the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Just bringing awareness and just letting people know. Some people don't. They don't feel love, and just for somebody to come beside them and just uplift them, or just give them a few words, or just listen to them. And that right there can go far and really change a person's perspective. And yeah, you've been through it, so you know how it is. You know that life. You know that revolving door, and how much work it takes to get out of that lifestyle and live a life that demonstrates a change. And living a life of change, it's not easy. It's not going to come easy. However, just to know the awards that it has when going through trials, when going through tribulations, whatever it is, because at the end of it, man, I feel good when I give back. I feel good. I'm not perfect. I go through my struggles as far as being within the institution. I wish I was back with my family.
Yeah.
But I know today though that where I'm at, I'm just thankful and grateful, because if it wasn't, unfortunately, it's sad to say, if it wasn't for this, I don't think I'd ever woken up. I don't think, who knows? I could have been in the grave.
You could have been dead, yeah. Like I could have easily had a life sentence too. It's like I could be where you are, or and it's you got another chance, It's never over, man. It's not over until it's over,
Yep, that's the truth. That's the truth right there. And I'm gonna continue to push and do what I have to do to in whatever way that I can to demonstrate that my change, and let others see that, and one day be given that opportunity. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's my goal. And continue to do what I'm doing. And again, as I said, the ultimate thing is making that amends for those that I have victimized in my life, especially Mr. Roboto and his family, and the countless others, and how much I owe it to my own family as well, that I have hurt through all this.
Yeah. I volunteer, and I have a 16-year-old daughter that's dealing with some issues, and she's away right now. The DCF, Department of Family and Children, they took her, and they're trying to get her medicine right so that she's not so so like off the wall, basically. They're trying to get her calmed down, and that's the reason why I do this. I got to show my daughter that how a man's supposed to act,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Definitely, man.
And you and your daughter are my prayers, and your family, and I just pray that everything, that your daughter will get through this, and see that there's a much better life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with you being there, and that right there alone will lift her up.
Yeah, man.
Just encourage her, listening to her. So
I appreciate that, man. I want to give a shout out to Bugsy too for making this possible, man.
Yeah, that's my good friend right there, man, and he has a real good big heart, man.
Yeah, definitely does.
But again, though, bro, I can't stress it enough, and express it enough, that I thank you for this opportunity just to be heard, and and I just pray that whoever listens, that they will take something from this, and change some perspective within their own mind, or just plant that seed there, and somebody else can water.
Yeah, a lot of the music and TV and everything is about violence, and the kids are drawn to that. It seems like nowadays it's cool to be a gang member, and I don't think these kids out here really know what it entails, man.
Yeah, and they don't. Especially coming from, and I can contest to that and say, being in prison practically my whole life, since the age of 17, coming to prison, and I've known nothing else but prison, and that gang lifestyle is not what it is, and coming from a culture of growing up within being a Southern Hispanic gang member, and we have these warped ideologies and these beliefs that were instilled into us that we had to live a certain way and have these certain traditions and all these beliefs and all this, which was just, it was all false.
What do you think
And
would
I
have
think that
happened if when you were growing up, if you denied the gang, if they said they wanted you in and you said, no, I don't want to do it, what do you think would have happened then?
I think that, there would have probably been some, I would have probably I could only assume that, I would have been probably attacked. Who knows? I mean, I can't say because, growing up in the environment that I grew up in, there's a lot of kids that came from broken homes. So, we all came together. And
yeah. So when they want you, you want to go in, right?
Yeah, I was actually part of the structure of creating our street gang.
Yeah.
So, where my mind was at that time, and I didn't think about anything. I wanted just to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to feel this brotherhood. I wanted to feel part of something because I felt that I didn't have that in my home.
Yeah.
And so, these kids today that are getting wrapped up in that because of feeling that same feeling that I felt, and I'm sure yourself,
yeah.
Getting wrapped up in that lifestyle, but there's another way. And the streets is not the way. We see today, I turn on the TV every day, and it seems like there's a kid getting killed every day, a teenager,
yeah.
From senseless gang violence. And it's like, wow, and it grieves me to see that because I was once part of that. And and it's just like, man, I just wish that the kids would just take heed because it's the stubbornness, the pride, and I gotta stand up for myself. I gotta be hard. It's covering up the fears that are there, and because I know that was for me. I wanted to be feared, but it was really because I feared. I was fearing inside. I was scared. Yeah. I didn't want nobody to see that.
Yeah.
And but I just just pray that
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Something will change. But again, those Staxx, I just thank you again for this opportunity, and it was a blessing. It was
no
a blessing.
Problem, man.
It was a blessing.
All day, anytime, man. You're more than welcome, man. We'll definitely stay in touch.
All right, bro. Well, you have a good day, and God bless you and your family, bro.
Thank you, man. And I'll get this out as soon as possible so that people can hear your story, man.
Okay, bro. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, God bless, brother.
All right, you too.
Yeah, you have a good one.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
bye.
Bye. You hear it there first, folks. He's in prison with a life sentence without parole for murder, and he's redeeming himself. He's going to college. He's trying to help the youth, and I do this show so that I can show the kids out there that you don't have to be in a gang. You don't have to and if you are in a gang, you don't have to do the violence. You don't have to do, the robberies and all that other crap that goes along with it. You can be a good person. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And I hope you guys like this episode. Until next time, chatting with Staxx. Peace.